The very first batch of Nigerians to be evacuated from Sudan have just arrived Nigeria in the late hours of Wednesday. So about 376 Nigerians, a majority of whom are students, arrived at the Pilgrims Terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on Wednesday night. This is courtesy of Airpeace and the Nigerian Air Force. Now, it would interest you to know that the Nigerian government actually disbursed about $1.2 million for evacuation of Nigerians from Sudan down to the border in Egypt. Now, there were a lot of hitch and, in the process. First, the money was actually sent, but the bus drivers who were contracted to carry this job began to give excuses, during the journey. About 40 buses were actually supposed to be hired, but then there were reports circulating that only 13 buses began evacuation at the beginning. But things have begun to settle, and more Nigerians have reached the border of Egypt. Now the Egyptian government was not very pleased with the amount of people, not just Nigerians, that ran to its border, who did not have visas. So the president of Nigeria had to intervene and reached out to Egypt in order to allow Nigerians have access to the airports so they can be airlifted down to Nigeria. Now, what's the good news? The major good news about this, okay, the Dangote Foundation, has actually budgeted to give 100,000 naira to all the evacuees arriving in Nigeria. 100,000 naira. Now, something similar was done in the year 2022. So when the Russia-Ukraine war broke out in February of 2022, a lot of countries began to evacuate their citizens from Ukraine, and so did Nigeria. And $100 was given by the Nigerian government to all the returnees coming from Ukraine. Now we've seen something similar play out, but this time we're seeing the private sector step up to help Nigerians settle, who went to Sudan, be it for business purposes, for work purposes, or for schooling purposes. So we've seen the Dangote Foundation pledge to give 100,000 naira to all the returnees coming into Nigeria. MTN Nigeria, is not also lying down. It is also trying to do its best to help people return with a gift of 25,000 naira worth of airtime. 25,000 naira worth of airtime from MTN and 25 gig worth of data from MTN to all the returnees. So these returnees have to have an MTN SIM card in order to benefit maximally from this. But this is huge. So the Dangote Foundation is issuing out 100,000 naira to all the returnees, and MTN is issuing out 25,000 naira worth of airtime and 25 gig worth of data to all the returnees coming into the country. So we're seeing the Nigerian private sector, or will I say Nigerian, step up to the occasion. We're seeing the government step up to the occasion, and we're having a lot of Nigerians, troop back to the country. Now, when this whole issue started, and a lot of dust were raised as to how the government was going about, evacuating Nigerians from the country, it is very easy for people to sit down somewhere, in a very peaceful place with air conditioning, with proper lighting. It's probably in the news media, and try to point out how the Nigerian government is failing to do certain things. It's not so easy to get things running, at lightning speed. This is a government organization. It's not a private firm. There's a lot of bureaucratic processes that ought to get things done. Then you're dealing with a country that is war-torn. Sudan right now is not in a comfortable place to, carry negotiations. Now you're dealing with bus drivers who are trying to make the most out of this ugly situation. So there's a lot of human interaction in trying to get people from Sudan down to Egypt. And because of the amount of human interaction, then there's more and more room for corruption. So it is not the best for you people to sit down and, begin to throw stones and throw words at the government when they're trying to get things done, because it's not done at the pace or in the way that people who are sitting in peaceful places, think that things should be done. Be patient, be understanding, give things time to settle, to crystallize. Don't be so fast to want to throw stones and want to, point fingers and point blames and this. No, please, let's be patient. What we want is happening right now. Nigerians, about 5,000 plus of them, are leaving Sudan on a daily basis, beginning from Wednesday night. And today is Thursday, 4th of May, on the day of making this video. And we are seeing more and more Nigerians come to the country, and we have people, friends and well-wishers at the airport welcoming them. We should be patient. The things we wanted is being done. We have other countries whose citizens are still in Sudan with no help. Please, let's give credit to the nation and to the patriots such as Mr. Allen Oyema and Dangote and MTN, who are doing their best in their own capacity to help remedy the ugly situation that we have found ourselves in. Okay. So this is where we're going to wrap it up for today. We're going to have a series of videos talking about the whole Sudan Nigeria interface and interchange, in this period. So please do well to stay tuned for some other videos on this matter, talking about other things. And till we see again, Godspeed.